Welcome back to the podcast. I don't know about you, but I'd like a Lotus for me. There's a whole thing going on with Lotus for me.
This is what we're...
Lotus for me is a thing? Why?
It's a thing.
How do you burn down a brand? It's news, but it's bad news, isn't it?
This is the Electra on screen. This is not the Lotus for me. This is just a representative example because we don't know what the Lotus for me looks like, but what Lotus is doing is making a hybrid. They went all electric and claimed that the Emira is the last gas-powered sports car we're ever going to build. How long before they renege on that? How long before they backpedal and come off of that one and say, all right, the next Emira generation or whatever they call it next. I think they need a word, and they'll call it that. So, the Lotus for me is the first LTS-certified X-hybrid hyper SUV launching in China late March 2026 with global rollout to follow. It has a 2-liter turbo gas engine with 2 electric motors and a 70-kilowatt battery on a 900-volt platform, adding up to about 939 horsepower. LTS means what, you might ask? That is Lotus Tuned Specification, an engineering standard that Lotus has enacted, ensuring consistent driver-centric dynamics. So across all of their products.
What we've done
LTS.
now is we're essentially making a large, super heavy, super powerful SUV with the badge on the back that says handling by Lotus. We've gone back to that. It's handling by Lotus.
I mean, I never thought anything about this was either Lotus
Nothing about this is
or
Lotus.
actually Lotus handling or a
this
product.
The Lotus for me is their ability to do the Electra without it being all electric. Because Electra kind of sounds like electric. You see what they did there? Ooh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Yes, I'm making fun of Lotus because they deserve it here. This is some sort of hybridized SUV, and they're selling that again as look at how powerful. This is more powerful than the Electra will be, and therefore is cooler. It opens the door for, okay, from all electric, now they're going hybrid. So that has opened up the world for doing whatever. I want a Lotus product that feels like a Lotus product. This is a rebadging exercise. And I understand, I get it. Their parent company is the Chinese company Geely. They make all electrics. I see the connective tissue. But this may as well just have a handling by Lotus badge on the back, which through the 80s and 90s, a lot of cars that shouldn't have handled well did because they were some manufacturer's car
Isuzu
with handling by Lotus on the back. Yes.
But that was a badge of pride.
Yes,
the
it
cars
was.
were lightweight, and it actually made sense. I mean, Porsche has offered engineering services.
Of course.
Many companies offer engineering services for years. And the Lotus badge was the highest badge of honor. Oh, Lotus tune handling. Oh, well, then this car is worthy of whatever.
Yeah. Lotus for me may be the thing that really wraps this up as where have we gone? And I say that because
Something got lost in translation.
I love my Emira. It seems to be selling okay, even though if I spec it right now, it's $20,000 more expensive for my same car than the way I bought mine.
Incredible.
It is a great car. Our friend Jonathan over at RSR just got his. He has so much exposure with all of the high-end Porsches at work. He wanted something that wasn't that, and he just kept coming back to, but it's so different than Porsche, which is cool, and it should be. It should be. Here's what I hope happens. I hope whatever these stumbles are, that Lotus continues with new product. And if they want to offer a big monster SUV, Porsche's done it, BMW's done it, whatever, then at least keep offering new and interesting sports cars that play to the core of the brand. Get a Lotus for me. I can't believe
I'm telling you, something got lost in translation. There was a miss, and it came out as Lotus for me, and everybody's sort of gone, what now?
Yeah.
Why would I buy that?
Because it's a Lotus for me, Paul. This is from the same market that has a car named Build Your Dreams.
Yes.
So in that regard, it feels like it makes some sense.
Yes.
It's just over here, we're going...
It doesn't really resonate. It doesn't land.
Yeah. This is quite... Over here, it's like Ferrari going, Ferrari for no one.
Well, it's Ferrari,
which is true.
Calling their car the Ferrari. The Ferrari.
It is.
Did everybody catch on to that? And we all just kind of glazed over and went, oh, the La Ferrari. And nobody cares, so maybe it might work. Maybe it would resonate, and it's different than every other car company in North America.
When did naming die? Was LaFerrari way out front with just AI naming? Like, what should we call the monster Ferrari? And AI goes, well, how about the Ferrari?
And the four-door Maserati.
Yes, the Quattroporte. Yeah, I mean, that didn't take AI. That just took Italians who need a lunch break.
They were leaders in that field.
They were. Before AI was naming cars, they said, call it the four-door, I'm going to lunch. Yeah.
You also need to know that Lotus has hired pianist Long Long. What an incredibly gifted, talented individual. And he has implemented music programs for kids around the world and really giving back, really investing in the music community. So incredible. But he is named as the Lotus Friend of the Brand. So here he is, being a friend of the brand. I don't quite understand the connection, except that it is about pursuing the things that you want and having the freedom of expression. And that's the through line that Lotus is promoting.
You're establishing a very highbrow thing.
Yeah.
Classical music,
Yes.
very highbrow at the top end. That is a classy association. Very different association. I'm not saying necessarily good, bad, but very different association from saying we have a rapper. And also, I wonder if he becomes a consultant, because Lotus needs this, on the quality of their stereos. Like, can they play him music back in the car and him critique
I suppose
quality?
so.
I would think so. I would hope so. And I say that because one thing about my Mira that is not good is the stereo's bad. I don't care how many brands they put on it for, hey, it's a cool brand. It's not good.
I mean, they're not in the business of making cool
No.
stereos. So maybe, but it's the expertise in your field. And
Yes.
I see the through line. Lotus has the expertise in their field
Mhm.
for the handling. It's never been power. It's never been style. It's always been handling.
True. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the through line of excellence here, I can see it, and I hope they pursue it, but I hope that means they continue to make gas-powered cars that are light. Or even if it's a hybrid, it's still got to be light. Lightness
That is, I mean,
was their through line.
that was everything everybody knew about the brand.
He's
But anyway,
light
yeah.
on the piano keys or something.
Clearly,
I don't know.
lighter on the piano keys than the Electra is on the road. Even at his most aggressive, that's how that works.
Your Lotus for me.
Yeah.
When you're driving it, do you think,
Lotus for him.
is that what
Yeah.
you think, Lotus?
I don't
This is my Lotus.
I don't know. Let's hope so. One other bit of news here, that is Hyundai has announced the Ioniq 6, which I just find questionable to look at. I need to see one up close. We haven't driven one yet. But the Ioniq 6 non-N is ending in the US. But the N is going to keep being sold in the US, which is very interesting. They're going to sell the performance version only in our market. And I'm very curious what that means for just what's the take rate? How many people want that car? I'm actually really intrigued to drive it because we do like the Ioniq 5N. So here is the more sedan version. I generally like sedans better than SUVs anyway. The back end of this, I think is questionable, but hey, let's see it in person.
It's different.
And-
It's so different from every other product in Hyundai's,
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
their design language across the
True.
whole portfolio.
True.
So
Yeah.
I think that's why it's jarring maybe a little bit.
Possibly. But I do want to drive the N. At least the N is staying in our market, but the standard Ioniq 6 is dead. So that's very interesting.
Griot's Garage is our official car care partner and one of our very first sponsors for the show. They don't just make great car care products, they want you to get out and drive your car. Griot's is a family-owned company, and they've been a part of every one of our road trips. We always take speed shine on every shoot, helping us spot clean cars at a moment's notice. Their foaming glass cleaner is the quickest and best way we've ever found to get windows clean before a big day of driving. And they're always releasing new and improved products like their updated Wash Bucket 2. Plus, all of Griot's liquid products are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the USA. The Griot's people are always happy to answer any questions to make sure you get the right product and the right results. So get the best quality car care products out there from a company that has always supported this show. Our audience can always get at least 10% off by using the code DRIVER10 at griotsgarage.com.
Grab a hold of something. Gonna get through this, everyone.
We are still doing our peak car list, which
Gonna
many
do
of
it.
you have responded on. Thank you so much for actually liking this. All of our numbers are up everywhere, which is really, really great. We thank you to those of you that are finding the podcast. Share it with others. Please review it. We appreciate all of that very, very much. I thought that the amount of research required for car debates went up because the amount of research of brands that this has taken, I'm getting educated. Truly, I'm getting educated by the process.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's forcing both you and I to make decisions, but in a cool way, it's forcing you all listening and watching to make decisions. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? And either way is fine. I love that it gets us all thinking about all of these brands in our lives and the different approaches. That I love your dealership approach, or I guess the year.
The model year, like you
decade.
walk into the dealership and this is on this model
I
year,
love
these are the
that
cars
approach.
available.
I'm still fascinated by the peak cars that come out and what was going on in that company's history, in their time. I've got some cars for I through L, so we still didn't get too far in the alphabet. We still have 9 brands at least.
No, it's going to be a while yet. Yeah.
But
A couple more episodes.
I was forced to make decisions, and I'm still having to come to terms with them.
Interesting.
Is this
Okay.
really what I think about that brand?
Okay.
Starting with Infinity, and it would be easy to go all the way back to the beginning and say door handles and the leaf floating in the creek down the stream, and there was no car shown or anything like that.
Yeah.
But to me, the peak of Infinity, we got this cool engine. What other car can we stuff that engine into? So here we are at the 2016 to 2024 Infinity Q50 Red Sport 400. Originally, it's my understanding, this was the Eau Rouge concept, which is the part of Spa-Francorchamps, the track, where the algae that runs in the river underneath the track turns red, and therefore Eau Rouge, meaning that part of the track up the hill into Radial, is a very technical, high-speed, interesting, and very fun part of the track.
Very.
And this thinking was, why don't we just stuff the GTR engine into a sedan? They should have.
Yeah. It should have been.
Keep
Yes.
it going. It ended up as the 400. The name implies 400 horsepower, so it's got 400 horsepower, about that in torque, and this was their hot performance sedan. But it seemed like everything just became a luxury version of a Nissan product after that.
Okay.
They're kind of doing it before,
Yeah.
and they got lost in the woods with the M50 and their M, and then they chose the letter Q, and everybody scratched their heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this came along, and we liked this car.
Yeah,
It was-
it was good. It was very good.
It
And,
was
and it's the engine that we begged for it to be in something else, and it wound up as the engine in the new Z car. It's a very good engine.
Yes.
It was good in this car. The problem was it was a good engine in a chassis that, well, let me rephrase, in an interior that was getting very old.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But still,
Mhm.
as far as Infinity the brand, what do you think of when Infinity pops to mind? Of all the cars, just the sea of endless SUVs and cars.
Sure.
This one is such a standout to me
Okay.
that I think this is peak Infinity. And to me, it represents thinking, not necessarily the car itself. It represents the kind of thinking that was going on at Infinity. They were in Formula One.
Yep. I hear you.
Things were going great. The Black Series, things were going great.
We were doing so well.
Here we are
Yeah.
with 2 expensive Pathfinders. But it's Nissan. Nissan's been through the ringer.
Mhm.
We have to cut costs.
I'm going to go. My year to walk into the dealer at Infinity and make it work
Okay.
is 2004.
Okay.
And here's why I'm arguing that. This is interesting because you just brought up this Q, the Red Sport Q50.
The Q50,
right?
yeah.
2014 is the pivotal year when Nissan got a new CEO and they dropped their nomenclature and they adopted Q, and everything became Q. And models that were whatever else last year now had a Q on the front.
G and M and
Exactly.
I.
I think 2014 is the beginning of the slide in Infinity because they changed nomenclature that was just starting to resonate. Think about this. 2014, they embrace Q. 2004, I am claiming, is their best year. 10 years prior.
Interesting.
And by 10 years after my peak year of 2004, those G models were kind of burned into our heads. We understood what it meant. We got the nomenclature, and now it's all changed. But think about 2004 at Infinity. You have, and I'm showing on screen right now, the G35 Coupe. This is the 2+2 version of the Z car.
The Z car, yeah.
The 350Z in, I would say, arguably better styling. And I am a sucker. I will admit it right now. When I shop for wheels for any car, I am looking for a split 5-spoke. And this Infinity split 5-spoke, I think, is one of my all-time favorite stock wheels to come on anything. And not why I picked this car, but I do love that. I've seen those wheels because, of course, it's the same hub on 350Zs, and they look phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's just a great-looking wheel on anything I've seen it on. But this was the G35 Coupe, and I actually, at the time, liked it a little better than the Z car. Engine sounded good. Engine was strong. Also, at Infinity at this point, you also had the G35 sedan,
which sold a lot.
Sold a lot. These were being put up against BMWs and doing well.
Yeah.
For a brand that was cheaper and also had a really short history. Already by this point, Lexus was being identified as a luxury brand, and Infinity was being identified as an enthusiast brand. You weren't putting the Lexus product up against BMWs and expecting it to win. You were putting it up against Mercedes. The Infinities are getting put up against BMW.
True.
So you got the G35 sedan and the G35 Coupe They also were selling the FX. And while I'm not a huge everything should have an SUV brand, this at least stood out and was available in 45 form, which was a V8. A rear-wheel drive biased chassis, V8, four-door SUV was available in 2004.
It was a tall car because it had such a long nose.
It had a very long nose.
It was very different proportions than any other SUV.
It didn't look like
kind of sports car-ish.
Yes.
The shoe.
Yes, it didn't look like a Lexus egg. It had a long front end on it that could put a V8 under the hood, which was amazing. They also sold this car, which I think is underappreciated, the M45, which had the same V8 as the FX. But I think this M45 of this era looks like somebody tried to modernize the classic 90s American sedan. And I think it got overlooked and underappreciated.
It was. Absolutely was.
This is 2004 Infiniti. This M sedan, the G35 sedan, the FX SUV with a V8 rear-wheel drive, and the Infiniti G35 Coupe. 04 was the peak. This was the place where Infiniti could go one of two places in the decade to follow. They could be right up there with BMW, or they could be and in 2014, Q, and we begin the slide.
It's interesting also because just the naming convention itself denotes a different class of vehicles.
Yes.
It's here we're using X. And to be fair, Genesis is doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got G and GV. So you've got to be
Of
careful.
course.
Is it a G? Is there a V in the name? The V means SUV.
Mm-hmm.
But here, G, M, we've got F and FX.
Yes.
That instantly denoted in customers' minds, I think, that's a class of vehicle, and then the number indicates either, hopefully, displacement, but we kind of left that
unfortunately.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Or performance. It kind of denoted, that's the upper end, that's the V8, that's the displacement. I think that was a problem. I mean, you're absolutely right. I like this lineup from Infiniti then.
So much promise, and
It was all about performance, whether it's the Q50, the Red Sport, or any of these. It was, we're thinking performance more than we are luxury.
It seemed like it, yes.
All right, moving on to
Jaguar.
Jag. There's going to be the foregone conclusions with some of these.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I want to bring up here the XKSS, which
Such a
was
cool car.
the road version of the Jaguar D-Type, the race car from the same era, best known for an association with Steve McQueen.
Yep.
This is a photo from DK Engineering in the UK. They were or are currently selling one of these. It's a continuation car that happened in 2016 and 2017. But from 1957, very few of these were built. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 25 XKSS
I think you're right.
versions of
I'm
these.
pretty sure it was less than 100 by
Not including the continuation cars here, which I still take a continuation car.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, look at
It can continue all its way to my driveway. Yes.
It's oozes style and class.
Somehow it's
racing.
the E-Type's crazier older brother. Everything is a little more voluptuous than the E-Type and also a little more aggressive.
Racing in mind, those define the brands.
Yeah.
And here is the D-Type that I came across from the 2018 Quail Show. A photo of mine, and I can't get over this car. It's just so sculptural and beautiful. And really, that comes from the manufacturing method, the English wheel, to coax a shape out of metal without tearing it.
Yeah.
It thins out the metal, and you're coaxing that beautiful shape. You know, how far can we go before it breaks?
Fenders don't match, but that's fine because we did it all by hand.
Symmetry is overrated. Who cares?
Yes.
That was Ferrari's motto forever, isn't it?
It's worked for him.
But of course, the Series 1, and I'm showing here actually a racing version.
Yeah, you are.
This particular car has the provenance of being the most raced E-Type in history, and also being sold by DK Engineering here, and it's the perfect shade of green. It's the race version with you can see the pipes there, but it's just so fun to look at.
Yeah.
But also, it's a great car to drive just because of the engine, the placement, the chassis. Such a superb car. So where did style from Jaguar go? There's a lot of other cool cars that from Jaguar that influenced me later in my growing up years, but these two are my standouts. To me, this is still peak Jaguar, and I don't think anything from Jaguar in the future will overcome these two cars.
Well, I mean, you and I are going to be in a very similar era here, and nobody's going to be surprised. But I will jump in here for Jaguar. I actually agree with you on those that you've shown because they are awesome. But of course, in 1968, they were selling the E-Type. Series 2, the 1.5 was like 67, some of the 68s, but by
Series
68,
1.
there was a 1, and then there was a 1.5.
Oh, 1.5 in the
which
middle.
is like 67-ish.
That's right. That was a
68,
short-lived.
because they're doing tweaks as they go, much like Lotus does. By 68, you were getting into the Series 2. You can tell the difference because the Series 2 has fully open headlights. The Series 1 has closed headlights. That's one of the main ways to tell. So this was being sold, and it was being sold in flavors. It was being sold in convertible. It was being sold in hardtop, which I actually kind of like more than convertible, just as a shape.
Yeah.
It was also being sold in a 2+2, which I am not going to show you a photo of because it looks like a guppy swimming backwards. It's not attractive.
It's not good.
It somehow gets an even higher roof and like this big bubble back, and it doesn't quite work on
Fit the
car.
people back there.
Yes, for sure. But the actual coupe that I'm showing here, I think, is a fantastic looking car. But 68 was the first year of the XJ that became the car that, if you think to the average person that grew up anytime last century, I know I'm dating myself, but if you were born before the year 2000, if you go to anybody of that type and you ask them, what does a Jaguar sedan look like? It's this.
True.
This was around for so
that.
long.
Yes.
1968, you can buy an XK new that looks like this, and you can buy an E-Type new. And I cannot think of any bigger poster child cars for Jaguar that were just seared into people's minds. You could see it at a glance with no badges, and you know it's a Jaguar.
You just know it's a Jag.
So 1968, both those cars were available at your local Jaguar showroom, and I believe, and I could be wrong here, but I believe the last couple XKSSs were leaving as well. They were like 67-ish when they were selling the XKSS. So those were like just leaving as well, even though I'm going with 68 for the E-Type because that's the start of this XK.
Seared into my memory for this car. I mean, and all subsequent versions of it.
Yes, in spite of the fact that this came in 6-cylinder and even 8s and 12s. They made it in every engine configuration. They had long wheelbase, short wheelbase. These were driven by little kings and queens.
Yes.
And even though the styling did change, this picture I'm showing, the 1968 with the 4 headlights and everything, I think we all think they look like this. Even as they change them and the lights change, this is the way we picture it, I think. So you and I drove that pink one years back.
Oh,
this is an iconic car, so I had to go there.
All right, moving on to Jeep, and I suppose we could ask the question here, which Wrangler, of all the Wranglers, of all the CJs, which one's the best? Okay. Which is the peak Jeep? And I think it's the most current one.
Okay.
I think it's the 4-door Rubicon 392 because finally it got a V8. For years, everybody was wondering, does a V8 fit? I wonder if a V8 fits. And many, many conversions done. Yeah, the V8 fits. And then Stellantis realized the V8 fits and shoved it in a Jeep.
Somebody mentioned it to them while they're at it, yeah.
This truck laughs at everything. When you and I drove this, it's on our test drive channel. It was astounding because we just try to, kind of stump the truck, the chuck. And it laughs at everything. The noise is there, the power on the street. If you don't take this off-road, you've lost the plot.
You have, yeah.
Completely.
But because of the engine, it becomes funny on the street versus just a chore on the street.
You're right.
The engine makes it theater on the street now.
But then theater going up the rocks because you think, I wonder if my Jeep can do that. Yes is the answer. Always.
Yeah.
If you want to point it at a direction on the horizon, yes is the answer. Let's go do that. It's so unbelievably capable, fast, powerful, and expensive. These are $100,000 Jeeps.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is
but
crazy.
392. Of all the Wranglers, I love the 2-doors, I love the 4-doors, I love all the Wranglers, the CJs from the 70s and 80s, cool Jeeps, love them all. But when I think Jeep, we've had this Jeep conversation. I think Cherokee.
Yeah, you do typically.
Because I had a Cherokee growing up, and I shared it with my sister. It was a 1977 Cherokee, quadra-track. You could watch the gas needle move on the freeway. You could watch it just incrementally move.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was so thirsty. AMC at the time.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
So Jeep Cherokee for sure, but when you think Jeep, peak Jeep, it's always a Wrangler. It's sort of at this point. Which Wrangler do you think is the best? Which one do you have? That's the best, right?
Good. You and I are going to overlap a little bit here, but I'm actually going to show a lineup and talk you through the lineup.
I love
the
it.
year
I love it.
is 2022.
Okay.
And not everything that Jeep's selling is good, but I have a picture of all of the above, and I want to talk you through it here real quick. This is a broad lineup for Jeep in 2022 because you have the Cherokee, the Compass, the Renegade, the Grand Cherokee, the Gladiator, the Wrangler, and the Wagoneer. And what I think is weird is the fact that the Cherokee and the Grand Cherokee are different size vehicles. That feels weird to me. It feels like it should be like the standard Yukon and Yukon XL, but it's not. They're different vehicles.
But they had to do something different than Chevy and Ford.
Yeah, so that was very interesting. But the interesting thing about this era is the fact that the Renegade, you know what? It's based on, it was the Fiat 500X, right, as well? The Renegade is solid. I don't like it. I don't gravitate toward it. But for its market segment, it's interesting.
I suppose so. It's
I
not
think
the first choice for, trail rated going off.
No, of course not. But for that market segment, the little city four-door runabout, honestly, I can't even say this, but the Renegade gets closest to taking the mantle of the Honda Element as far as styling and just the feel of it.
If they had gone down that road, they would have had a hit. If they just copied,
I think it's
do
the
a Jeep
closest.
Element, that's a great
It's
idea.
the closest to the Honda Element continuation car. So the Renegade I actually think is decent. And also, here's the other thing. It's in a market segment with a 9-speed transmission when everybody else has got CVTs. The Cherokee, at this point, came in normal gas engine, 4xe, and also came in long wheelbase, like long extended Cherokee. Not long wheelbase, but like they made a longer version, which was ugly, but they made one.
Isn't there a diesel engine?
There may have been. The Wagoneer was a still is a six-figure suburban fighter from Jeep. What are we doing? And
Jeep doesn't know.
Okay. and while I don't know that it was a success, I'm applauding the boldness of going that far into luxury with Jeep. And then to your point, you have the Gladiator if you want your Wrangler in pickup, or the Wrangler, and they're both available with 392s.
Yeah.
2022, the 392 really look, and we drove all of the versions of this current Wrangler, and we've driven all the engines, and we did it a while ago. We actually had the 4-cylinder turbo Rubicon with the Ford Bronco when we first drove the two together. And the reality is, any kind of rock crawling you need to do, you can do it with the 4-cylinder.
Even with the base engine.
You can do it with the 4-cylinder turbo, you can do it with the 6, you can do it with the big V8, you can do it with all of them. We've done it with all of them. But the 392 makes it laughable enough on the street that you tolerate the things that are not good about it on the street, and then it will still do all the off-road stuff.
It's entertaining on-road finally, and then brilliant off-road. It's sort of like, well, this is what you can't do what my Jeep can do, and I'm confused.
And if you want to do the E thing, the 4xe are available. Those were super cheap to buy because there were incentives and that kind of stuff, and
there's some problems
now. Had some problems too.
Yeah, problems going on.
392 would be the way to go. That I think that did make Jeep.
I see your lineup here. The Cherokee, when that came out, always seemed to be just a Me Too size, Me Too product.
Agreed.
Yes, it fleshes out the product lineup, which is what product planners want to do. They want to, chop it all up and offer something in every segment. I don't think that works for every car company, and the Cherokee was
the Compass,
not great,
and the Cherokee are also right.
And I'll take any Mazda CX anything. Over that thing.
The Grand Cherokee is when it started to get worthwhile. But I do think the Renegade holds its own as in that market segment. Pretty cool.
Since you're listening to us, you'll end up shopping for your next car very soon. And when you do, you need Autotempest.com.
Any car, anywhere, at any price, Autotempest searches all the major car listing sites on the web, local or nationwide. And Autotempest has recently added price history for every car listed, so you can see how prices are trending and know if you found a good deal. You can also create search alerts and lists of saved searches so you can find your perfect spec even easier next time.
Search on any device, in your browser or as an app for Apple iOS and Android. New, used, or unexpected, Autotempest is how we search for cars. Go to Autotempest.com/everyday so they know we sent you. Autotempest. All the cars. One search.
Kia hasn't been around in the collective conscious.
It's going to be recent.
For too many years, too many decades.
There's no 1960 Kia product to talk about. There's no dealer from then. Yeah.
When I think of Kia, I think Peak Kia. It was the thinking. It was the Stinger. When the Stinger came along from 2017 to 2023, the styling was different. It finally made sense. Peter Schreier from Audi had just joined Kia.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
true.
injecting
Yeah.
a dose of really great styling into a segment that had very few competitors,
Yeah, yeah.
and it had a lot of power, and it handled great, and it was great to drive, and reliable, spacious, hatch, gorgeous for a low price,
Mhm.
almost one of one on the market. There was the Genesis G70, the Alpha,
But we've recommended this car so many times, you're probably sick of
hot
it. This is so good.
performance.
Yeah.
I can't afford the Mercedes, BMW. I don't want to deal with it.
Mhm.
The warranty, the engine, lots of power, speed, cool name,
Yeah.
and it disappeared. It's gone.
Yeah.
But the Stinger, when I think peak Kia, it is 2017 to 2023. Stinger, there's really no other standouts for me. And it still is a gorgeous car even now.
As is my way, I'm going to give you a year.
Do it.
And I also have the Stinger on the year that we're talking about, and that is also 2022. This is peak Kia because the Stinger exists.
And so, end of the Stinger run.
But here's what else exists at Kia in 2022. The Telluride has just been introduced and reshapes that market segment of the unibody 7-seater. And we were in this camp as well. We're like, this Kia did this?
That's true.
Telluride remade that market segment, actually showing the early model here because they didn't change their logo to what everybody somehow thinks is KN. I like their new logo, but that's where it got confusing.
It's not KN.
It isn't. But so this is the original grille and the original Kia logo. So there's that. So the Kia Telluride, the Kia Stinger. They also had the K5, which was the first time that Kia had a really competitive Camry competition. A car in that segment that you probably would still pick the Camry or the Accord, but you should take a serious look at the K5. It was fast. It was good looking. This squiggle side light got a lot of people's
Very
notice.
unique. Yeah.
It looks like it's rear wheel drive and isn't, which is always a success if you can pull that off. And they were selling it alongside the Stinger. They also were selling the EV6, which, look, I'm not a huge EV fan, and I don't want another electric 5-seater, but in that world, this is good. They did it well.
Yeah, this was
So-
a standout because, and platform sharing here.
Yes,
through
exactly.
Hyundai and Genesis as
Yes,
well.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we
Definitely
kind of like this and all of its siblings. It was a solid execution of, and these are cheap now. These used, you can get them for a song. There's a lot of car in the EV6 if you want an EV.
Still look really good.
They look great.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better looking electrics across the board.
Yeah.
And the Carnival.
You just
I have to
wanted
do my
that.
snaps.
You
I
just
have
wanted
to do my snaps. But before this, Kia's minivans were like you couldn't afford a good one, huh?
Couldn't afford an Odyssey or
Seriously, you couldn't afford all the good minivans everybody else buys, so you bought the Kia. The Carnival. I have to do it. I didn't sign anything. Anyway, the Carnival, I can do it without snaps.
Nothing in the contract.
Exactly right. It really is a very solid minivan. And they sent
Yeah,
us, when they first sent it to us, they sent us in both configurations, like the family hauling configuration and the luxury hauling
It was
configuration.
the two different seating
And it was really cool.
configurations. Yeah.
So while I'm not a minivan buyer, they became competitive with the Carnival. And this is all 2022. Carnival, EV6,
Not that long ago.
K5, Stinger, and also the Telluride. That was a huge year for Kia.
Telluride is also peak Kia here. When this
Yes.
came out,
Yes, absolutely.
there are waiting lists.
Yes.
You couldn't get one, a Kia,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're all past the it's blank for a Kia.
Yeah.
Everybody takes it very seriously now.
You're
And
right.
I think this lineup, and especially the Stinger, changed all of that.
Mm.
We move now to Lamborghini.
Sure. I like it.
Not a huge fan, and I'm going to be maybe a touch controversial
Okay. All right.
with my Lamborghini choices here, because we're going to start out with the two most recognizable, and we're going to get those out of the way, starting with the late 60s, early 70s era. The first gen Countach LP400. 1974 to 1978 is when this was built with a 4-liter V12, making 375 horsepower. I kind of like the 80s cars. They're iconic,
Mm-hmm.
but of any Countach, it's the first one. I like the first one.
Yeah.
Marcello Gandini and
Yeah.
Lucio Bertoni got together and created what I think is a masterpiece of automotive style.
It's
Hands down,
probably the best known car design ever.
ever.
Yeah.
So alongside that is the Mira, built from 1969 to 1971, also with a 4-liter V12, only making 370 horsepower. It was turned sideways in the back. Who does that? Lamborghini does. Gorgeous styling. Also very, very iconic, you
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Classic
One
60s
of
and
the most
70s.
iconic, yes.
but I'm going to start in on the Urus.
Okay.
The Urus, since being introduced in 2017 as a 2018 model, Lamborghini's sales have doubled.
Mm.
And in the first year after the Urus went on sale, 60% of Lamborghini's sales were the Urus.
I'm not surprised. It's the Cayenne effect. It's the same idea. It's on the Cayenne chassis.
Thank you. It is absolutely the Cayenne effect. Remember when everyone was kind of pissed off that Porsche built this Cayenne?
Mhm.
Porsche, what are you doing? Why do you even need this? Why do we need this? And it was the Cayenne and eventually the Panamera that saved the company and allowed Porsche to continue building 911s and Caymans and other cool cars.
They sell Cayennes and Macans so they can build everything else.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That is what the Urus has done for Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And at first, when this came out, I liked it a lot. And then I've gone through the period of really not liking it.
Are you coming back around?
And
now?
I'm weirdly kind of coming back around because the more I see it, there's actually one in my neighborhood in a powder blue that
I've seen that one.
it
Yeah.
turns my head.
Yeah.
I think, I still think you wasted your money.
But it's cool.
But it's cool for other people to drive.
Sure.
I mean, I like looking at it.
Sounds amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we still haven't driven one, but drive a Bentayga or a Cayenne or a Q8 and you've
Yes,
driven one, right?
exactly. You really have. I hate to say it, but it's very similar.
But this thing, weirdly, and now they've got the Performante, that is the version that I'm showing here in yellow. And I think the Urus was necessary. And therefore, this Urus, alongside the new Revuelto, is peak Lamborghini. It
Really?
peaked in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
And it's peaking now. I think Lamborghini is now entering a renaissance.
Hmm.
Now, this Revuelto is 1,000+ horsepower,
Yeah.
hybrid, triple electric motor, V12.
And then the Temerario below
The
it is also
Temerario.
brilliant.
That's what we're hearing. The Temerario styling, I'm not quite on board. I need to see one in person, but the Revuelto, I kind of lost interest after the Murcielago.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Okay, the Huracan,
Sure.
and then all the variants of the Lamborghini, the Cayenne and the
Yeah.
Fenomeno came out, all this stuff. Just how many more variants? The other Countach
The Countach,
that
yeah.
just seemed like,
Yeah.
what are we really doing?
Yeah.
You're just putting the body kit on what exists, and it's not that much better, and calling it a special edition and
Mhm.
selling for more and
Yeah.
extracting the dollars out of the people
Yeah.
who can afford to buy them. But this has really turned my head. Stylistically
Interesting,
speaking,
okay.
I'm intrigued by this. It feels kind of original now. They're starting to
All
have
right.
a voice.
Hmm.
They're still way over the top. I mean, they're for Saudi buyers and YouTubers to buy.
It feels like that, doesn't it?
Who else
Yes.
buy? I mean,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
guy in my neighborhood. I'm sure the monthly nut on that thing, I don't want to touch that.
Terrifying. Yeah.
I have no idea what he's paying, but it's probably a few $1,000s a month.
Oh yeah. It's a mortgage.
Just so you can
It's a mortgage
drive an Urus.
Yeah.
And it turns my head, and I think, you know what? With Lamborghini committing to V10s, V12s, committing to
Mhm.
the engines everybody thinks and associates
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Lamborghini, especially V12s, and
Mhm.
committing to that, and then starting to explore their own hybridization, and they're not going full EV yet, but they're starting to explore what's possible to incrementally give customers more power, not that it needed it, and it kind of needed it, but I am kind of excited for where Lamborghini goes from here, because
Okay.
they also canceled their EV, because
Because they realize no one wants a
there's
Lamborghini.
zero
Yeah.
interest. But I'm actually encouraged because that is now forcing them to really rethink who are we as a brand. Their sales have gone
sure.
up. And I went to Italy for the tour. It was
Mhm.
10+ years ago now.
Yeah. Crazy.
12. Anyway, it's been a while. So I took the factory tour at the Lamborghini, and the gal leading the tour, she was very proud that Lamborghini made such fewer cars than Ferrari.
Hmm.
It was a point of pride.
Hmm.
And she also said, when the chassis meets the engine, there is no divorce. And everybody just went, ooh.
That's very good. I like it.
Everything comes together, all the parts, there is no divorce. Now, I've seen Lamborghinis explode on track and blow their engines up.
We
and,
have seen that occur. Yes.
you know, there's
Terrifying.
a lot of race cars, Lamborghinis. Some do well, others also blow up and don't finish their races. And so
Yes.
I'm a little bit mixed on their racing provenance and history, but still, I'm kind of encouraged because as crazy as this seems, I'm wondering if this is so peaked that it's going to force them back to the beautiful stuff from the 60s and 70s.
Interesting.
I'm wondering, I'm putting it out there, but I think they peaked and then they had to do all this other stuff, get it out of the way. Then Murcielago was cool, but
Yeah.
you know, Gallardo and sales went up, and then the Urus, and well, now they got more money, and now they're exploring. They're exploring new shapes, new forms. Look at the front end on this thing.
It's crazy.
Kind of interesting, and it's turning my head. And you could, to the non-car enthusiast, just say, well, isn't that an Aventa Gallardo Huracan? What is that? It's just one big mixture of Lamborghini styling.
Yeah.
You know what? It's starting to feel a little bit interesting. And this coming from a person that has zero interest in Lamborghini. I wanted to go see the tour because it's Lamborghini, but I don't want to own one. I don't aspire to really drive one. I mean, but I could be convinced otherwise.
We are not those YouTubers, but I you've come a long way for this, actually. I'm impressed.
I've gone like, oh, the Urus is so cool. Wow, the Urus is ugly. Is it cool? I can't tell. I don't know.
Well, I will say, I actually saw a Temerario in person recently, and it's smaller than I thought it was, and that actually makes the styling better.
Okay.
I feel like in photos it feels
smaller's
like,
good.
It seems like it's as big as this thing, this big Ruelto, and it's not. And something about the slightly smaller styling actually helps. Size helps the styling. Yeah.
Look at that. It's the radius over the rear wheel arch there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a perfect circular line. There is reference to that LP400. Just little subtle things that it's not retro, it's referential. And there's some nice things to be found on this car. And I think they're thinking about, I mean, the Urus.
It's a lot for you to come around on, I gotta admit.
I think, wow, what a cool, is it cool? I'm still so mixed on this. But you know what? I like that it's given them Cayenne-like sales and boost to go explore their other sports cars.
Well, we're here in Lamborghini, and I am going to jump straight to the icon. The 1987 Countach is the one. When you think Countach, you think this.
What a sweet car.
You think the 1987 red Countach, doors up, wing on the back. You think that era. When they got to Horatio Pagani doing the 25th anniversary, that was a bridge too far. That's 2 years later.
That was too far.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is 1987. But in the 1987 Lamborghini showroom, in the time travel that we're doing for this exercise, it's 1987. You can buy this iconic Lamborghini.
Okay.
You can also buy the Yalpa.
Sorry, guys, we just realized that backup audio has been running and not primary audio, so we have primary audio. So we've just had a huge increase in audio quality here in the middle of the podcast. We apologize for that, but I am continuing. The Yalpa from Lamborghini was being offered in 1987, the same year as that amazing Countach. And guess what else was in the showroom? With the Countach was the LM002.
This thing
the
is such a
V12
beast.
Lamborghini makes a Hummer before the Hummer exists. This was designed and built and pitched for the military and then not bought, and then they sold them to the general public. And the other thing fascinating about these three cars, the Yalpa, the LM002, and the Countach, is they were all manual.
That's a great point.
The 002 stupid truck here has the V12 because it just every time I see one, it's goofy.
Have you heard this thing? It shrieks.
That's the thing. It
It's
has the Countach motor in it.
Yeah.
So you have a manual transmission V12 Countach motor in something that looks like a Hummer that's gone through a caricature artist. Seriously, 1987.
Start with a block and
at
cut
Lamborghini,
some chunks off.
All three of these cars exist.
That's true.
The 002, the Countach, the Yalpa.
The Yalpa.
Pick your manual transmission.
Cool.
And I feel like these Yalpas have come to be beloved now, like way after the fact. I feel like nobody bought them. And now it's like that Lamborghini you can get. And
yeah,
so
you can say you own a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Oh,
and you own a
Yalpa.
classic Lamborghini, right? Yeah. So those three are my Lamborghini choices. This 002 shows off what I'm saying as well. This is when Lamborghini is it's ridiculous. This is
ridiculous.
There's not. It doesn't feel like Lamborghini's doing product planning. Now it feels like they're doing product planning. Like, what's our big one? What's the smaller one? What's the SUV? What are the things? Are we selling coffee mugs? What are the accessories? What's the hoodie look like this year? This is just like we're drunk in the factory. Okay. Oh, seriously, we need to make a military vehicle. We have a crazy thing with wings, and we have a Yalpa for the people that can't afford the crazy thing with wings.
Ferruccio Lamborghini did make wine for a short period of time.
So it's somebody's drunk at Lamborghini, and this is what happens in 1987, and I love it. I love it.
That 002 ergonomics make an AM General Hummer feel like a masterpiece in human factors and ergonomics.
It feels like somebody had thought.
You have to contort yourself.
These things
and then
are crazy.
You're shoved into the corner. It's just all engine and transmission and gears and everything in there, and you're kind of off to the side trying to look cool.
And every time I've seen one, I can't stop walking around it. There you go, 1987 at Lamborghini.
Over at Land Rover, we have many options.
Okay.
But what I've got on screen here is a Discovery 3. So this was known in North America as the LR3.
Okay.
Built from 2005 to 2009. And I want you to know that this was a clean sheet redesign. And I'm picking the LR3 as Peak Land Rover.
Okay.
Because this introduced the integrated body-on-frame design, which combined the monocoque and ladder frame chassis together in one vehicle. And it was clean sheet. This was starting from scratch. And their initial sales estimation was about 27,000 vehicles.
Okay.
And in its run from 05 to 09, they sold over 50,000 of these. You saw them everywhere. Everybody chose this.
There were quite a few of them, yeah.
It was highly praised. I think of all the boxy styling that Land Rover is, there's some nice things to look at here. It was clean. It was professional. There's relatable shapes. You look at that rear corner of the glass, the rear, behind the B-pillar, that rear glass for the rear passengers, and that little notch is parallel to the notch in the taillight. Little tiny,
all the way at the back,
nice
D-pillar stuff,
little details. Yes, very boxy, but also very clean, and for its time, very modernized.
This, I hate to say this was the one that the rich guys with the Range Rover bought their daughter. This was that's
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And I also hate to say this, but these were not known to be reliable.
Yeah, there were problems. The automatic transmissions didn't want to shift or had very rough changes. This was solved by replacing the fluid a few times or resetting the software. Early Discovery 3s had a Hitachi compressor for the air suspension, and that failed a lot, and they were replaced later with AMK units, and it's expensive to swap one over because the computer also needs to be reprogrammed at the same time.
Perfect.
Because the car is so heavy, the brakes and rubber parts of the suspension wear very quickly. Sunroofs can leak. The brake light switch can break. That's a cheap and easy fix, however. And the electronic parking brake can seize, usually from not being used. The solve is to drive it, but it's also expensive and time-consuming to replace that electronic parking brake. And if you were to ever buy one, you need a huge stack of receipts for maintenance and only get the V8. No to the 6, only the V8.
Okay.
No to that diesel V6. Yeah, there were problems with them, but I love that
They look great.
people bought on styling, and they are and were very capable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I saw these everywhere.
I agree.
It's almost like
I agree.
practically everyone bought them. And you know what? I do feel like people definitely used them. They were off-roaded. They were used. A lot of problems, but I think this really speaks to Land Rover, because now tell me the difference between the Rangy and the Velar and all of their product lineup.
They've all started to blend.
They all kind of look the same. And I think this started it out with some neat details. The Disco is cool, but again, you see a Range Rover going by and you think, now which one of the Rangies is that? I don't know. This one you knew, and it didn't look like anything on the road.
That's very good. I'm going to jump back a little further in my time machine. As I was digging around in Land Rover, Range Rover history, I found 95 when these two vehicles are not only hugely sought out, but I just think they really are peak Land Rover. First off is the Defender 90 from the 90s. It is super boxy, super Land Rover, Range Rover does a Wrangler, and I knew somebody that had the 110 version of this in LA for a year, and he got rid of it. He was in love with it the day he sold it, but he got rid of it because every person was offering him money for it, and finally the price got so big, he was like, I just have to sell this thing.
Did he get a 911 after that?
He didn't.
Oh.
But he just was constantly offered more and more money until finally he was like, well, that price is good enough, and he sold it.
Everybody has their number.
Exactly. So here's the Defender
Wow.
90, but the other one is the Land Rover, Range Rover of the era. This is the iconic one of the 90s. You think Land Rover, Range Rover. I don't care what they look like now. This is what they look like in my head. It's just that era. And also the difference between the look of these two things. One of them is the rugged, like Wrangler use. It's got to be muddy all the time. Dogs in the back, shotgun bent on the fender. It's that. It's like this one is filthy, and we may
Yeah.
never clean it. And the Range Rover looks like all you're going to do is go to a polo match and then a nice dinner.
I can see that. I mean, you can get it muddy, but I
Of
can
course
see
you
this
can.
is more like don't get it muddy.
Exactly.
But you got your rangy.
You could, and it would still go through a jungle, but this is when
Mm-hmm.
these two are very different, and yet they're both very Range Rover,
They
very
are,
Land
yeah.
Rover.
Yeah.
So I have to go 1995 for these two, and I think for me, that's peak.
This is the one, wasn't that the Seinfeld joke where people could see your hips while you're driving because of the tall glass and the tall proportions?
Glass, yes, and also, I mean, they've had it forever. It's got the split rear tailgate. They used later
Very
versions of
iconic.
these to film a lot of the Top Gear stuff because
Mm-hmm.
these were the ones that everybody had that loved, and they could break the tailgate, and they could have a guy kneeling in the back with the big camera on his shoulder. That's how they shot all that stuff. So
right.
this is the Range Rovers that we know, and I still feel like this is what it looks like, even though I see a new one and go, oh, that's right, they don't look like this box anymore.
They really don't.
Not at all.
You don't know what they're.
Not
which
even close.
model is that?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yes.
Sport, Velar. I don't really know. In 2012, Lexus brought out a concept at the North American International Auto Show called the LC. It was a concept that everybody unanimously said, yes, please build that.
Yes.
That is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm showing here is that 2012 concept because I want you to see how close the production version car is to the concept.
It's kind of amazing. It may be
fact
one of the
that they-
closest ones I've ever seen.
Yes, the fact
It's
that they
unbelievable.
held some of the lines. You're not seeing a lot of shut lines because, again, it's pre-production. It's very concept. But
Yeah.
look how close these are
It is kind of
to
amazing.
keep that concept. And here it is, still on sale, even today.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a 9-year run currently for the LC500. They've had convertible, they've had hybrid. We've driven all of those versions unanimously. It's sort of the GT car that nobody thinks about. It's really quite a brilliant car. Now, it's fairly heavy, and it's not the highest performing sports car ever, but you don't buy an LC500 for that reason. It's a wonderful highway cruiser, eats the miles,
yeah.
great sounding V8. The cliches,
Yeah.
ripping silk, it's the whole deal, like from the V8, all the cliches
Yeah,
you can imagine
yeah.
for the sound. It is one of the most beautiful cars Lexus has ever produced.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of peak Lexus, I think of the LC500 and the LFA.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
From 2010 to 2012, Lexus built a 4.8 liter V10 with a 9,000 RPM redline. Most of this car, about 70% of this car, is carbon fiber. To my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, that this is one of the cars ever built with the most carbon fiber components.
As
ever.
far as road cars are concerned.
Road cars.
It's got to be
certainly.
way up there.
Yeah. Not a race car, but for a road car to have this many carbon fiber components and the percentage of carbon fiber used in this thing, and I'm going to admit I really didn't appreciate this when it came out. I looked at the hood, I looked at the little dip in the line here for the side
On the rocker there,
on
yeah.
the rocker way down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
It dipped slightly,
Before it comes back.
and
Interesting,
it
yeah.
wasn't German. It wasn't
Oh, sure.
very severe, and then it turns a radius and then continues on up. It had a little bit of
It
emotion
flourishes
to
a
it.
bit, yeah.
And I thought, was that a mistake? Did the designer, did you bump his elbow? Like, what happened right here?
Well, I
didn't
always thought the
appreciate
gap
that.
in the hood was odd. It always looked like an
Gap in
unfinished
the
shut
hood
line.
was odd.
Yeah.
This particular styling element that was the body of the car at the rear quarter window that overlaid the glass for the purpose of, I couldn't tell you.
Just a point. Looks cool. Yeah.
It does look cool. And a triple exhaust in the back. Fans right here at the back. You could see the cooling fans.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate this car. I admit, when this came out, I just thought, Lexus, what are you doing? And then the more I've heard about it, we have not driven one. Our friends at Savage Geese have, and they did a brilliant job on really doing a deep dive for this
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
This is a special benchmark car for Lexus.
It is.
Just the fact that they thought, we're going to build the car in a clean room, and we're going to put all this carbon fiber, we're going to build this V10, and we're going to put every bit of our know-how, and this is the tip of the spear. The way
Yeah.
these cars had to be shipped was also an engineering feat. The way they were boxed up and shipped to customers around the world was almost unheard of. The care that you had to take. It wasn't just car on transporter.
Yeah,
They built
yeah.
special containers to
Unbelievable.
ship this thing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So the LC is sort of like the poor man's LFA.
It is.
Still get a little piece of Lexus out of the LFA.
The LFA, there's one that comes to our local Cars and Coffee now and then, and we've met the owner. The LFA, when it shows up, it has presence. It doesn't have crazy styling, but it has presence. Versus your LC you've got there, that is a timeless design like the E-Type.
Yes.
That's going to be beautiful forever. I don't know that the LFA I would call beautiful. The LC 500 I would say is beautiful. The LFA, though, has presence and purpose
really
in the
does,
way that it looks, and it really is very cool.
I never see it in this blue. There's also the Nürburgring
Totally.
edition in orange, but usually you see them in white and black and silver. I think that's about
true. I did not go with this era, but I got close, and that is I think peak Lexus is 2001, and let me show you why. I mean, I know they came out in the 80s, but in 2001, think about these icons in the lineup. The IS was doing its first generation, and you could get this with a straight 6 Toyota motor and a 6-speed.
That's true.
It may have been a 5, but it was a
with
manual.
the watch face
with
gauges.
the watch face gauges. And I didn't appreciate that at the time. And over time, I've come to realize this was the peak of the IS. This is so cool.
Yeah,
they came out and really were. This is the one place at the time they were aiming for BMW.
The 3 Series.
This was
Go
the 3.
right
The
after
3
it.
Series was such an icon in the early 2000s, and they were aiming for it. And so this IS existed. Of course, the LS existed. It was in its second gen at this point, and it was still like the car that nobody could believe how good it was. People weren't surprised it was as good like they were when it first came out. It wasn't that surprising, but it was like, Lexus is still doing that at such a high level. The LS existed. And the RX 300, as much as I want to loathe this is the beginning of a revolution. Lexus
I'll
starts
loathe it
selling
for you.
this. Fine. Lexus starts selling this in 01.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm overstating to say they changed the industry.
I think you're right. Yeah. With this.
Everybody decided they had to have a 5-seat egg. And now we have nothing but 5-seat eggs everywhere. So I do blame Lexus and also praise Lexus for this, because you've done something here that has changed the market in the same way the LS changed the market. That changed how luxury cars were built and what was tolerated. And this changed what people that don't care about cars much everywhere wanted to drive. I hate to say it that way, but because it was a Lexus, they just run forever. These things still hang on to value.
Yeah.
They're still making
around.
variants of the RX, but these old early 2000s ones are still out there running. This was Lexus proving they can introduce something to the market. It's going to be valuable. It's going to retain its value. It's going to be reliable, and it just works. I don't like these, but they were a revolution, and this is all 2001 at Lexus. They are throwing down, but guess what else was 2001 at Lexus? My favorite Lexus ever. The concept car from Minority Report was also 2001.
You like this thing?
I love it.
You do?
It's my favorite one.
Really?
It's my favorite Lexus design ever. When this showed up on screen, and granted, if you see it in person, it's a car for the movie. There's a lot wrong with it in person.
True.
But on camera, in this futuristic world, to have the coolest car in the movie of a futuristic world be a Lexus,
Okay.
all it needed to do was look cool. It didn't need to work.
You don't have,
Okay.
There's no ergonomics,
So
getting
the
in and out,
the
window drop in the door.
The whole point is, can Lexus design something that's the coolest thing in the film? And the resounding answer was, yes, they did. I liked the movie at the time, but I remember being actually like removed from the movie and being like, wait, that's a Lexus? Like in the middle of watching the movie the first time. So kudos to Lexus for 2001.
We come now to Lincoln.
Yes.
When you think of Lincoln, peak Lincoln,
I wonder if you and I are going to go the exact same place.
I took a pop culture approach.
Okay.
I came up with one Lincoln,
Okay.
and that is the 2007 Navigator. And the reason I went here is because as cool as suicide doors are from the early 60s,
Yeah.
when you look at pop culture, when Lincoln really started to become kind of cool, it was when the first Navigator came out. There are 76 lyrics and 104 artists matching Navigator in their songs in pop culture.
Really?
That's a lot.
That's too many.
That made an influence.
It made an impact for sure, yeah.
And those artists, those musical artists, made an impact on all of their audience. So therefore, everyone listening to Little Troy, to Missy Elliott, to R. Kelly, to Rashid, to Sauce Money, to Outkast,
Sure.
all of those lyrics, everybody went Navigator.
Gotta have one. Yeah. Okay.
Lincoln, the Navigator, and then all subsequent versions have gotten bigger and faster and, more luxurious. And they've kind of looked at what Cadillac's doing. But with this, I still think Lincoln needs to do what Cadillac has done with their V Series. Lincoln needs to come out with performance and luxury. It can't just be luxury. It can't just be, we made our cars for music videos. I still think they need to take it further.
We made a nicer interior version of a Ford product. Yeah.
And that's all it was.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what everybody thought. Well, why would I buy that? Why just get a gussied up Expedition? That's all it is.
Yeah.
But then it appeared in pop culture like crazy, and everybody picked up on it. And so for Lincoln, the brand, because everything after that, do you even know what is currently on sale? I mean, I'll give you a hint. It's called the Corsair. And
the Aviator. And
No, that is no.
Okay.
But when Navigator entered the pop culture, the zeitgeist for
I get you.
2007, and many artists who you know and have listened to, and Navigator was in the lyrics, and Navigator. And, suddenly it's cooler than the Escalade.
It did have that brief moment. You're right.
Brief moment.
When it was cooler than the Escalade. You're right. And then fell away. Interesting.
Absolutely.
That's very good. I think you nailed that. I'm going to go somewhere else. We did not go the same place.
Okay, good.
I'm going to go somewhere else. And my caption for this is, too soon? It's the 1961 convertible Lincoln Continental suicide door.
They are cool. Don't get me wrong. They're super cool.
But here's the reality. You go up to the average person and you ask them to put a model name after the car name Lincoln. Tell me a Lincoln something. Continental,
right?
Everybody's going to say Continental. This got a pop culture resurgence with the TV show Entourage on HBO.
Oh, that's a good point, yes.
But
yes.
Lincoln peaks with the assassination of JFK. That's just because it is so burned into history. This car is connected to that moment, and it's connected to things we don't do anymore, which is huge 4-seat convertibles. It has 4 doors as being a convertible. They are suicide doors. There's a ton of things here that do not happen anymore. These have been remade a ton of times. They've been in music videos. They've been dropped, lowered, put on bags, everything. But you think Lincoln, you hear Continental, and then you're right to JFK.
Yeah, it's true.
True. Maybe it's too soon, maybe it's awful, but I almost feel bad for Lincoln because I feel like they cannot get away from this. In the same way, not as tragically, but in the same way that Jaguar can't get past the E-Type, Lincoln can't get past the 1960s Lincoln Continental convertible.
They really can't.
Which
is probably
just
why they don't build
brand.
cars anymore.
Possibly. I mean, they had that Continental
SUV
briefly.
only,
by the way, if you want a
nasty
deal on a luxury car, buy a used recent Continental.
Nasty styling.
Fine.
The
but,
MKZ, nasty.
Oh, yes, I agree with that. No,
car.
but the recent Lincoln Continental, those are available for a song. They did like German luxury car depreciation. They're way down there. You can get a lot of luxury car for your money. But I just have to say, sorry, Lincoln, it's the JFK car.
Okay.
That's the icon.
Fair enough. Since you are the resident Lotus expert,
curious to hear where you went with this.
I will leave the deep dive of Lotus history to you.
Oh, I don't know about that, but keep going.
But for Lotus, Peak Lotus, I think it's been fairly recently. What was it? 49, way back, way back.
And then the Lotus 7 is still being made by people to this day, and that's a car from the 50s.
That's true. All of those,
crazy,
it's got incredible history, but what is pinnacle Lotus engineering, pinnacle lightweight combined with great power and beautiful styling, I don't think we have to look further than the recent era, the Elise that you have starting in 2005, the Evora GT, and the Emira.
Oof, okay.
I think all 3 of these cars represent peak Lotus. Lotus at their most, their highest powers. And I include everything. It's not just handling. It's not just the Isuzu something with Lotus handling badge.
Sure.
I mean, this particular car, what an incredible car. The Evora GT, the Elise is, for me, the brand encapsulated. There have been some great ones, Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But I think things really gelled, stylistically speaking. I think this is the prettiest car in a long time of all cars and the prettiest car on sale right now. There isn't a prettier
I'm going to agree with you, but I actually own the Emira, so it's hard for me to say. But yes, I agree with you.
I really don't. There isn't a Ferrari, not a McLaren, not a Mercedes, no Porsches. This is the prettiest of all cars right now.
I agree with you.
They're peaking right now, and the Elise and the Evora GT sort of led to this, that thinking. We've already discussed Lotus, and what they're doing for Lotus for me.
Yes.
In the future,
Lotus for me, Lotus for you, Paul. Who knows? It's like a BYD, but for Lotus, it's great. Build your dreams, Paul. At Lotus for you.
The sun is not setting on the. Anyway, it's not a
man,
metaphor
yeah.
of anything. What a beautiful, great power handling that is refreshingly different from everything else.
Yes, it is.
On the road, and I think those two cars led up to where the Emira is now. So Elise leading through the Evora GT, which I do really love.
It's a great
special car. There's some raw things that are sort of like,
yeah.
That's a bit kit car-ish, but it's Lotus. Okay.
Well, but as I've said before, the reason I skip over the Evora is because I have an Elise. I have a raw car from Lotus.
Right.
It makes sense to have the Emira. It's the much more usable car, and I cannot believe I have both at all and get to say that sentence. But anyway, I'm actually going to stay pretty modern time as well, but not quite this modern. Because again, I'm trying to pick a year when you can walk in. And here's the problem with Lotus. Lotus has had a lot of really good cars, but they were selling like a car at a time. They don't really sell a lot of things at the same time.
A Lotus for you?
Lotus for just a Lotus for you. That's it. We have one.
That's where that came from.
That's where that came from. And look, I can't ignore the 7, which I don't have a picture of, but I can't ignore the 7, which becomes the modern day Caterham and a lot of other things. Right. That is probably the longest running, most iconic Lotus shape. Okay, it's like this undercurrent, a lot of other things. I think that the Peak, when you could walk into a dealership, and I can't believe both these cars were for sale at the exact same time, is 2004. And I say that because elsewhere outside the U.S., it was the first year you could buy the Series 2 Elise that became the American Elise. That was 04. 04, as an 05 model, it started being sold in the U.S. But also, in 2004 was the last year for the Esprit.
Sweet looking car.
And after the Esprit, as much as I like my Emira is not competing in people's minds with Ferraris. It's not competing with Lamborghinis.
No.
The Esprit did in people's minds.
I thought 03 was the last year for...
Apparently 04 was when the last few were being sold.
Really?
And I cannot believe that the Series 2 Elise is being introduced, because the Elise was introduced in the 90s, okay? And the Series 1s are very cool, and they're even lighter, and they're even lower power, and they're even more raw, which is crazy. But the Series 2 is often called the federalized Elise. That's the one where they were making it for the U.S., okay? So it was just a little bit nicer, a few more airbags and those kind of things.
Advanced smart airbags.
Seriously. But after the Esprit ends, Lotus has not gotten back to making a hypercar, supercar, actual competitor. As much as I like my Emira, as much as I get that experience out of it, you could go out when the Esprit was being sold and hold your head up high that you bought one instead of a Ferrari or instead of a Lamborghini, and it felt like parity. Even though it didn't cost the same, it felt like parity. Okay? Keep in mind, the R8 hasn't come out yet when this Esprit dies.
But are you only putting it in the category for the ones with the twin-turbo V8? Or
not necessarily. I'm saying
the four-cylinder, when it first came out, the Esprit was like, great car, supercar with a four-cylinder.
But the Esprit always had that iconic feel.
It did, yeah.
Okay? And Lotus doesn't have a car that exists in that area now. I'm not talking about the Avaya. The Avaya, I mean, I know it's not vaporware, it really exists, but it's like a weird one-off, okay? Yeah. This was your hypercar, your supercar from Lotus, and they haven't made one since. 04, they have a supercar and they have a sports car, and unfortunately we're not back there. Though I do have to say, I like your choices because I do love my Emira very much.
You already own those cars.
The Elise is superb and such a moment in time. I'm going to start with Lucid.
Do it.
Because I think Lucid is pretty simple. Lucid
Fortunately, pretty simple here.
Right now. They sell two cars. They sell the Air and they sell the Gravity.
Great
That's
shot.
what they sell. They sell those two cars, Air and Gravity. A couple of years ago, they didn't have the Gravity on sale yet. It was just the Air. They've been around just short enough time that I think we just have to say right now for Lucid. But I might steal your thunder here a little bit.
Okay.
Because I am going to say one thing. I saw a Gravity on the road this week here locally.
Oh, you did?
I did. I saw a Gravity.
All right.
And while they are cool, they are also just a minivan.
It's just a minivan.
The excitement about the Gravity.
You can sit in.
Yes, the excitement about the Gravity among automotive journalists has been hysterical to me and
Unfounded?
to you as well. Well, because this is a minivan
without
shape.
Merit?
It's a minivan shape without the useful doors. That's what boggles my mind. You've made the useful shape of a minivan, which has never been sexy, And you
No.
took away the one reason you really want to buy a minivan, and that is the enormous hatch opening and the sliding doors.
The doors. Yes.
As much as I am not a minivan buyer, as we've said before, nothing out minivan's a minivan, and most of that is, hey, the big whole side of the thing just slides out of the way.
And the kids tromp in,
Yes.
muddy and dirty, and
Yes.
nobody cares. And
Kids
you hit the button,
dogs, and you can hit the button, and
We're away.
that's what we're for.
Yes.
So I am laughing because there has been so much press about the Gravity being revolutionary, and you and I both keep walking around at an auto show going, isn't it just a minivan? And yes is the answer. Yes, it is.
I'm glad they have product diversification.
Agreed.
And I'm including Lucid here because with their backing, the dollars that are backing them,
Yes.
it feels like they'll be around. It doesn't feel like, well, they're not selling too well, and so we'll pull the plug and we need more cash.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the cash is going to be there for a long time. They've invested in building factories. So it feels like this is kind of the beginning. And you're right, it is peak Lucid is right now because it's the only time for Lucid. But there is one particular car that I had to re-educate myself on, and it is the Air Sapphire. And I went back and looked at all the stats and specs for this car.
It's unbelievable.
It's staggering.
Yeah.
This is a $250,000 car. The 2024 Air Sapphire has 1,234 horsepower. It has 1,430 pound-feet of torque. It has an 8.9 second quarter mile.
Yeah.
This thing will
bullet.
lay waste to all of the bikes. Corvette ZR1X is still
It's
quicker,
giving
but
it a run for its money.
a run for its money.
Put 3 people in it with you and challenge the ZR1X next to you.
But the one number that I didn't know about this car, we put 200-mile-an-hour cars in a different category. This is a 205-mile-an-hour top speed car. I didn't know that this was a genuine 200-mile-an-hour car. I knew it was quick. I knew it had a lot of horsepower.
Sure.
I didn't know if it was speed limit. I didn't really quite realize that this is a 200-mile-an-hour car. When we say that, we
That's
think
astonishing.
Ferraris, McLarens, all the Bugattis, all the top-end stuff. 200 mile, 200 mile. Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Right here.
And we've driven the Air, not this version. We've driven the Air. It is a superb electric car. If you're in the market for an electric car and you can get a Lucid, if you can get a used Lucid, you got a great deal.
Yes, and those prices are continuing to come down, and we like them a lot. And
They're
run,
very,
and
very good.
It's a different experience. There's so much great design, and the driving experience is actually kind of interesting. It's a big, heavy sedan, but Lucid makes a 200-mile-an-hour car is the headline here. I didn't know that. I had read that. I was like, genuinely. Not to mention some of the highest range of any EV.
Yes.
That is astounding.
It's very, very good. It's very impressive, yeah.
So, Peak Sapphire. I mean, I saw a Gravity 2 weeks ago, and it was parked by the guardrail on the side of the highway. I
Okay,
thought,
yeah.
You're looking pretty grounded there. All the jokes, I was trying to
Nice. Good. Excellent.
work
Yeah.
on it. I'm still working it out here, but he looks stranded. I was like, Gravity. It's a thing. It's real.
Being held down. Yeah.
Minivan.
Okay. It's
Everybody's
a minivan.
freaking out about
It's an EV minivan without the good doors.
With
Without the helpful doors. Yeah. It's bizarre, but there it is. Lucid.
Tune in next time when we hope to get through the entire letter M. Are we gonna
We have to get further than that. We have to.
Mitsubishi, Mazda,
Oh,
Mercedes, Mini? Are we gonna get there?
I don't know. We're trying. We're going to get through the alphabet. We have dedicated ourselves to this. It's going to happen. Thanks for being with us.
We're adding FCP Euro as our partners and supporters for both Everyday Driver and Hooked on Driving. For nearly 40 years, FCP Euro has been an industry-leading supplier of genuine, original equipment and OEM parts and performance upgrades for European cars.
That means BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Mini, Mercedes, Volvo, Porsche, and even Saab. Paul, you have to call your brother-in-law and tell him FCP Euro is the place because, as I just said, even Saab. We're putting it in the ad. Anyway.
They offer a lifetime replacement guarantee on everything, including consumables like brake pads, wiper blades, and even oil filters. Buy a replacement, send back the old one, and receive a credit for the full amount.
For your Saab!
Plus, FCP Euro offers free economy shipping on orders over $49 and a 90-day hassle-free return policy for new, unused, and uninstalled parts.
So visit FCP Euro today for more than 300,000 parts ready to ship for your European car and your Saab. FCPEuro.com. I know you're not surprised to hear that we have track days coming up. Hooked on Driving has lots of
Got
track
events,
days
baby.
nationwide, tons of them happening. The 14th and 15th of this month, March, Ridge Motorsports Park, that is just outside Seattle. It is a phenomenal track. Our Pacific Northwest is doing a 2-day event there, and you should come because that track is awesome. Then March 19th, that's a Thursday, down at Sonoma. We're having a first event at Sonoma for this calendar year.
Sonoma
That's such a
kickoff.
great track,
Yeah.
and people just come to that track in hordes. I love it. It's really cool. And then you and I are traveling near the end of the month, the 21st and 22nd of the month. That's a Saturday, Sunday at Ozark Spring Speed Fest at Ozark International Raceway. We've actually never been to that track. I keep hearing great things about it. It's funny. We only hear two things about that track. One is, oh, you have to come. It's amazing. And the other one is, ooh, if you're a first timer, be careful. Be careful. So I'm very, very excited to be there. That's going to be really awesome. And then, of course, we do still have a few spaces left for our 2 marquee events for the year. And I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. They're both almost sold out.
Yeah.
Circuit of the Americas, COTA, that is May 30th and 31st down in Austin, Texas. We cannot believe how fast that is selling. And I think
Fantastic.
Novice is like a space or 2. If you're a first timer, you better sign up now.
B group has a bit more
B
space.
group's doing okay. B, C, and D have space,
Have
all
space
of the
right now,
above,
yeah.
but it's selling really fast.
Make
so
your
get in
plans
now.
to come
We'd
to COTA.
love to have
This is
you with
the
us.
year.
It's going to be so good.
We don't know what's going to go on with COTA for 2027 and beyond. You've heard things, we've heard things, but this is the year. Make your plans. We'll be there, absolutely. And it's such a superb track to learn.
a real favorite.
It's rewarding. There's speed, there's technicality. It's it's an F1 track.
It's such a good track. And then, of course, I have to say it again, pilgrimage trip, it's going to be amazing this year. It's a little longer than normal. We've got 2 days on Spa, 1 day on the ring. It is a actual dedicated track day on the ring, which is how you want to drive the ring.
Yeah.
I promise you. That is August 2nd through the 9th. We have a good group coming. Some people are bringing spouses. It's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be spouse friendly and driver heaven, honestly. You have to come. There's like, honestly, while I'm talking right now, I think there's 1 space left.
Yeah.
So sign up now. It is available, and we'd love to have you with us. The best term was when Ted said it. It's the once-in-a-lifetime trip you should take every year. It is epic. And we've got multiple people that are coming back again this year, including Ted, which is good. But we're going, and it's going to be awesome. So that is in August, and you can sign up now at everydaydriver.com, Adventures tab for pilgrimage. But then everything else we've talked about is all at hookedondriving.com, and we'd love for you to be with us.
Chris writes to us from West Virginia. He's been listening and watching quite a long time. Chris, thank you so much.
Really cool.
6 years on from his first listen of this podcast, he's lining up as first to drive in his family group because Chris is 16 years old.
So wait a minute. So that means he's been listening since he was 10. How did you find this podcast at 10? I'm glad. I'm very glad. And pass it on to friends and family. But he's been listening for 6 years. He's now 16, and college dual enrollment is fast approaching. My gosh, you've got to be smart as well, man. Oh man! So you're the first of the kids in your family to drive. So we can all, I can feel this feels personal. I know it does.
I know it does. At such a young age, Chris writes, it can be overwhelming to look at the wider car market, and yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's why we're doing Peak. I'm just kidding. All right.
Did you listen to Peak?
Hence the Peak.
We had Peak. Yeah.
He says, the budget caps out at $15,000, but it needs to be a very nice or low mileage example for anything over 11 grand. Needs to be manual to prove to his family that he's attentive to his driving. A specific request from his parents, which he doesn't disagree with. He's very comfortable driving a stick, but this is, he says, a purchase under 18 years old. He says it's not his money.
Mm-hmm.
He said, simply speaking, it's not my money. His mom wants it to have a reasonable amount of driver's side airbags.
Sure.
Understand?
Yeah.
And he doesn't disagree with that, but he says the requirement isn't friendly to most cars that are pre-Y2K. Just think, if you get a car that's way older than you.
Yeah, that's true. And he's right. I mean, look, I fully agree with your parents. I applaud your parents for saying you need to be driving a manual. That's what we did with our son, and Bodie's having a great time. In fact, we're having to try to get him out of his car, which is a nice problem.
I just love that you're like, we need dinner and groceries.
He will,
and he's gone, and he's
earlier today.
It worked. The parenting worked.
Earlier today, we were going somewhere, and he was like, "I'd like to take my car too." I was like, "Sure, fine, whatever."
That's awesome.
So it's very funny. So he's loving it. So I love the fact that your parents would like you to have a manual transmission. It's very cool, Chris. I also appreciate the fact that it's their money, but you have created a dilemma because you want manual transmission, but good modern airbags, and those aren't necessarily at the same era of cars.
He doesn't need enough power to knock himself out.
That's his term. Love it. Okay, good.
Just needs to be fun and a manual. He says the car would only be used for driving to his rural school campus or an internship. He's not worried about the manual as a long-term decision, although he does say he wants to own this for upwards of 5 to 10 years. Okay. You're going to get used to starting to wrench on your car, maybe learning how to do your own oil changes and maybe a transmission rebuild here and there. And just kidding.
Hopefully not, yes.
So in the area where he lives, they only get about 1 to 2 mild snows a year in the area of the DMV. He says DC, Maryland, Virginia, and just barely West Virginia. So no special catering to the elements. No problem there. He says what he's considered up to this point, for reasons inexplicable even to himself, he had his heart set on a very specific and undesirable car. The 2007 to 2009 Nissan Altima 3.5 SE manual. The V6 engine is used in lots of Nissan, Nismo, Renault, Alpine performance cars and race cars.
The VQ35DE V6, that is the one that winds up in lots of places.
And it wound up in the Altima.
I'll admit, you've educated me, Chris. I didn't even think about that car. I looked it up today and was like, oh my gosh, there it is. Yeah.
Not many were built. Most are in bad condition. Otherwise, he's looked at the 2001 to 2005 Lexus IS 300, part of the your Peak Lexus there.
It is hard to find those in manual, Chris. You're right. Yep.
GT86 chassis, the Hawkeye era, WRX, Hawkeye era, yes, not the Bug-Eye.
Yep.
And even your beloved Subaru 92X, Todd. He can't find those cars anywhere.
Yeah, they're hard.
He's also concerned about reliability reports on those latter two cars past 150 or 200,000 miles. But whatever this ends up being, he's not as concerned as how expensive insurance might be because their family rates are just outrageous.
It's going to be crazy, period. Yeah.
Just writing that off. And hello to Chris's family, because I'm sure you're watching all this and about to watch our recommendations. He says as long as it's not a Mustang or Challenger levels of bait for insurance to chomp down on, he says.
Good stuff.
Most of the cars that he has mentioned are pre-2010s because he's not afraid of working under the hood. He just can't be nickel and dimed in the long run. Boy, do I have options for you.
I've got a few good ones too. I want to talk about a couple of the ones he's picked out, and then I have 4 others, and I landed on one that I think might be my favorite right before we started recording.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, jumping right in, Chris, it's Todd's son's car. This is Bodie's car.
That's the actual car my son drives, yes.
That car, the 2005 Mini Cooper S, R53 Mini Cooper S. What a great car. I think you should absolutely go look at these. They are fun. They are after the year 2000. They are airbags, manual, fun to drive.
He wants more than 2 seats, too. It does all of the things.
And this is the second high-mileage Mini that is really well taken care of and is driven a lot and runs.
You're right. I mean, I hope it keeps being driven a lot and keeps running, but yeah.
I'm trying to allay your fears, Chris, about the Mini. I mean, you could go get yourself a case-swapped original Mini and go nuts with the horsepower. And
look at that thing. That
we saw this in Utah,
so fun to drive.
About 10 years ago when
Did
we were
we
at that
really?
show.
I forgot that.
Remember this thing?
No, I don't, but that's
the front
amazing.
Clip off. Yes, to
that
this.
has to be so much fun.
Can you imagine?
I can't.
The front tires just melt.
Probably.
They don't go anywhere. They just melt.
That's really cool. I love it. Good.
So I just throw that as an outlier. But also you'll notice these 3 cars are from our $12,000 challenge, the 12K and under cars that just came out recently at the end of 2025. The Mini Cooper S, the Ford Fiesta ST. I mean, if you spend $12,000, you can probably get the nicest Fiesta ST out there, and they're superb. Great, great on the longevity for high mileage.
Yep.
Take care of these; they're loads of fun. And the 3.8. I want you to look at the 2015 3.8 Hyundai Genesis Coupe. These were built all the way up until 2016, but the Genesis Coupe is fun to drive. All manual, gas mileage. Well, depending on how you drive, they're not all great, but the Fiesta is pretty decent. But all 3 of these, I will not recommend an RX-7 or a Camaro to you, even though those 2 cars were part of that film. But the first 3 cars in this film, I want you to go watch that if you haven't already. These particular cars, I think, speak directly to your story, directly to what you want. And I think they would all be fairly friendly on insurance and fairly friendly with the parents. I think the parental unit approves of all 3 of these.
It's good options. I like it. And they're all more than 2 seats, so he's done that too.
More than 2 seats.
Good stuff, yeah.
Airbags, manual, fun to drive, fairly modern. I think any of these could work.
That's
You have
good.
drive homework, my friend.
That's good. I have a few for you as well, Chris. First off, I'm going to start with a couple that you've already mentioned, and I want to circle back on them and talk about them. One, of course, is the WRX manual with the Hawkeye. I actually brought up a Hawkeye picture here. Yes, these are hard to find. The problem with these is the one you can afford the one you want to buy? That's the problem, because these, they only get down into like the 12 grand range when it's the one you don't want. Like they're beat on, okay? And that's actually the beauty of the Saab 9-2X, if you can find them, is because those aren't known about. And you got to look nationwide. That's the key thing. You got to look nationwide to find those
modded
cars.
into oblivion.
People don't know about them, and so the problem with a used WRX below 12 grand is that might not be a car you want to own. It might be more work than you'd like, because these have known issues, especially with high miles. So I do understand that, but I wanted to show that. I think you need to take a serious look at a first-gen 86, the FRS or the BRZ, because this has the proper dynamics you want to learn. You've already brought it up. Power-wise, your parents are going to be thrilled. It's not some big, heavy-duty car, and you as a person driving manual are going to have to really drive the manual to get all the power that it has.
Then you're going to chase the torque dip, and you're going to mod it into oblivion. And
But you can actually learn to drive manual better as a result of having one of these, and the dynamics are perfect. And it is, you admitted it, it's just slightly enough more than two seats that it might get by. Plus, it's a fairly modern car, so fairly modern safety tech. So this is a really good option for you, and I want you to take a serious look at it. Take a good test drive. This strikes me as the kind of car you're going to love, and your parents are going to be like, I don't know. And parents, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, 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 yes.
Sold.
Because if this had twice as much power as it does, I would side with Chris's parents and be like, I don't know. But with the power that it has, I think this is a fantastic choice. And it isn't as small, Mom, as a Miata. And I say that because my wife was like, Miata is a bridge too far. She would have been open to this. My wife would have been.
Okay.
But the Miata was a bridge too far.
Okay.
So anyway, so there's those two, Chris, that you already talked about. But now let's talk about three others. And a little bit of overlap here. Mini Cooper S, the R53. I did not take a picture of my son, but you included it, which is good. So R53 Mini, these are awesome, and I love them, and they're supercharged, and again, they seem to run defiantly against type. Let's hope it continues
supercharged, super cheap, super
it's so
awesome,
good. It's
super
so
fun.
good. Yes. Also, the Fiesta ST. Paul brought it up. Your $12,000 gets you a phenomenal Fiesta ST.
Yeah.
I really do like these. These are fun at every speed. But if we're looking and we're concerned about, okay, it's a turbo, it's an ST, I have two others for you that dawned on me. Two other really good hatchbacks with good usable space that are fun to drive, but are not first glance enthusiast cars. And the first one is the Honda Fit.
The Fit fits.
Look, I'm actually showing the earlier 2000s model that I will admit is just not attractive, but they refined this. It got a little more attractive. This has a great 6-speed in it, a fantastic chassis. We've known many people that track these and turn them into race cars because they are such a good dynamic car to drive. Tons of space. You want to take friends, you want to haul random stuff. The Honda Fit's got you. So this is just a lovable, properly well put together car with a manual. It's not as interesting as some of the others, but this is just a workhorse, and these things run forever. So Honda Fit. And then the other one that is kind of a wild card for me, but it is also my favorite because it is the most modern, and it does everything we're talking about. My concern is that 15 grand top you've got is the bottom of these. So I don't know that you're going to find one, but I got to go there anyway. Current gen Corolla XSE with a manual.
That's great.
We drove one of these when they first came out, before there were even rumors of the GR Corolla. And you said pretty definitively, if they would just make this all-wheel drive, 300 horsepower, they would have a winner on their hands. And that was almost the exact recipe of the GR Corolla. This is not all-wheel drive. This is not 300 horsepower. It has enough power for a first-time driver. But it is a 2020 and newer. This is a new car. So it has all the latest safety tech. And they only sold it manual for a few years. And I looked online, Auto Tempest nationwide, and I found a few selling for 15. I found a lot selling for 17, 18. And the top of the market is just over 20. So these are just above your budget. But if you are really thinking long term, this gets you a much newer car with good dynamics, a good chassis, a good manual, and modern tech and safety. So I can't ignore it. Once it dropped into my brain, I was like, wait a minute. You are the perfect buyer for one of these Corollas if the budget will allow, and it may not.
You said it. I'll say it a different way, and that is, of all the new cars, this can be justified for paying $2,000-$3,000 more, parents, because you're not going to be wrenching on this.
It's so much newer. It's going to have the newest tech, and it's going to be driving much longer for sure. Yeah,
upgrade the tires and.
Phenomenal car. Really, really good. So I hope that helps you, Chris, because that's you got a lot of stuff to drive. And parents, I hope that helps.
Chris, thank you for writing. Really appreciate you listening and watching since you were 10.
You were 10. It's crazy. I love it. That's great,
amazing.
Though. It's really good.
And everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. Topic Tuesdays, car debates, car conclusions too.
And now we have a car debate that is completely unlike the car debate we were just in. It's the opposite end of the spectrum. I want to meet David in New York. Nice. I want to understand David's story because I don't understand quite exactly what's going on here. He is a car guy through and through and through. He likes manual transmission, and he lives in Brooklyn, Manhattan. Okay, like the worst possible place on the world to have A, lots of cars to take care of, and B, everything is manual. And that is David's way to be.
David's in an apartment in Brooklyn. He doesn't have a set commute, but he drives to the Bronx 15 miles once or twice a week for business, and he drives 45 minutes to an office on Long Island 50 miles once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Both of these drives are lousy with traffic and many potholes.
But good news, he has lots of cars and they're all manual. Good news, yeah.
Highly relevant. He recently purchased a vacation home on Long Island, 110 miles away. Once he gets past his office, it opens up and gets nice, and the new house itself is surrounded by some of the best country roads he has ever experienced. All wooded, tight, hilly back roads, 30 miles an hour speed limit. These sound like B roads in England.
They do. Well, also no traffic, but plenty of deer. Be careful. Yeah.
He is married with 2 kids. His daughter's in college. His son is in high school learning to drive. He takes the subway a lot, so doesn't need to drive day to day. He's 6'3". And if he grows more, he won't fit in David's fleet.
I started to say that to my son. My son has slowed down, which is good, but I keep saying stop by 6 feet. You'll fit in everything. Yeah.
He's learning on manual transmission in Brooklyn, just like his daughter did.
This makes the way that I trained my son to drive manual seem awfully easy. Come on, kids.
They'll be able to drive anywhere and anything.
Yes, they will.
Here's the fleet. This is an important sentence. David likes small, lightweight cars from the pre-digital age. He likes to keep them clean, which is another odd quirk in New York City. I hope you use Grizz Garage products.
We hope so, yes.
He also includes his parking situation that is critical when you live in a New York City apartment. In Brooklyn, he has access to 2 indoor garage spots and street parking with an alternate side, if you can fit. On Long Island, he's got 1 big car garage that he can squeeze 2 of his small cars in. He will be building a 3-car garage with a lift for the Long Island house soon, plus a driveway.
Okay.
How do you make this work?
Plenty
it
of
works.
I want to know what David does for a living. It's part of what I want to know. I want to know how on earth you're making all this work. But that's a side note. It's not about budget. It's about finding something to add to this fleet, which we haven't gone through the fleet yet. I can't believe this fleet, but I have heard so many people complain about the cost of parking a car indoors in New York. It's almost a duplicate of putting a roof over your own head. He has 2 covered spaces, and the rest of the fleet rotates the side of the street from the one they're not street sweeping. So he's finding street parking for the rest of the fleet, and he's keeping 2 in a garage, and he's paying for the 2 in the garage. There's the Long Island house is now going to have more garage space. This is madness. Great madness. I mean, we're thrilled to have you with us, and you are our people. I want to meet you, David, but this is crazy. We're talking about a 1990. This is all currently in his fleet. Notice he didn't send history. Did you notice this? He didn't even send history. He was like, this is all current events. The whole thing is current events.
You're right.
1993, original first-gen Miata, 5-speed, 73,000 miles. He's had it for 30 years. It's been in the family since new. He says it's everything a Miata is supposed to be. He has a 2012, that seems awfully modern, Porsche Cayenne 6-speed with 65,000 miles. You bought one of the rare second-gen Cayennes with a manual. You have that
He's
right now.
got that
He has
Cayenne.
that. He has that Cayenne. That is the family car.
We've talked about it.
Yes, you are the guy with one. 2018 Fiat 500 Abarth, his second 500. His first one was not an Abarth. He has an Abarth now, 5-speed, 14,000 miles. Loves this thing, loves the fact that it has an obnoxious exhaust noise. He's like, I know I wake people up, I turn it on in the morning, and I'm fine with it. Loves it. Loves that thing. A 1987 Suzuki Samurai. When's the last time I said that? When did we put those words together? Have we done that in 1,000 episodes of this podcast?
I have not ever seen. I haven't seen one in years.
I had a buddy that had one in college, and I haven't seen one since. He got rid of it promptly after college. 1987 Suzuki Samurai. He has one, soft top. I just cannot believe this exists. He says, look, it's terrible. He acknowledges that it's terrible. It takes forever to get to 60, but he says if you get it outside the city and you get it onto a beach, it's dune buggy. Then it comes into its own.
He says he can fit the Miata and the Suzuki in one car garage. One space.
One space.
Of course you can.
Because they're both tiny. Yes, I love it.
He likes tiny cars.
And last but not least, and there's a whole, I will spare you the separate diatribe, but last but not least is the 1987 Honda Prelude. This is the car from Remember When. So he has bought it with a friend. They bought it, and they just kind of have it as the nostalgia car. But the funny part of this is, remember the parking issues? Somehow he's ended up responsible for parking it.
Yeah, how did that work?
That's happening as well. He mentions in passing that he does have another car in the fleet that's not really his car. It's a 2019 Mini Cooper two-door that's an automatic because that's his daughter's car at college. Once she got out of high school, he said, okay, I'll get you something else with an auto. What do you want? She wanted a Mini Cooper with an auto. So it's not actually in the fleet. It's like family adjacent, but it is her car.
Then David writes, he wants to buy something else. He's going to have more garage space soon. He's debated splitting something with his Prelude friend, like a Lotus Esprit or maybe an M5, but that's a different decision.
Because it would involve his buddy who did not write in. This is just for David, yes.
He's trying to rationalize. Budget is flexible. Dangerous, he knows, but he likes spending less because it feels more freeing. Who cares about a ding or a scratch on a used $25,000 car?
Yep, I get it.
But he says anybody can buy a new 911, but only a genius can find the hidden gem, the price of fun. By the way, his father just bought a 2024 manual 911S.
I love that he says anybody can buy a 911. By the way, my dad did, yes.
He actually says any idiot can buy a new 911, but he's not calling those owners idiots because he does acknowledge his dad bought a new manual 911S, but generally not his style. 2024. For the absolute perfect car, he could spend up to $100,000, but he wants to keep it below 50. We're going to work on you for that. And the lower it is, the more he can rationalize more cars. But I think I have the car.
Oh, good.
I'm calling my shot. At this point, David's considered a 2021 and newer Alfa Giulia TI Sport.
Love it.
He's considered a Jag F-Type.
Okay.
Gorgeous, like a poor man's Aston Martin. Sure. 2019 and newer BMW i3. His son hates the look, but David loves how distinctive it is. That resonates with you too. It doesn't resonate with me.
I
You
have
like
a
that
soft
car.
spot for him as well. I hear you on that. Yeah.
He's never had an EV, but he really has nowhere in New York City to charge, but he figures he's good enough to, have some fun, quirky cars.
Yep.
And then last on the list, well, not quite, 2019 Toyota Supra, GR Supra.
It was almost last.
He says he doesn't know why he's drawn to this car. He loves the looks. He loves the engine. Feels like last of breed. But then again, he has a Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah.
So who needs a use case?
Yeah. What on earth? What's it going to be for? But yeah, I hear you.
His parents also have a 2012 Audi A8L long wheelbase. The car is pristine and worthless.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
They have indicated a desire to sell. There it is. The Audi that you want.
The A8L. Yeah.
The A8L. That's the aluminum. That's the one you want, right?
Well, I actually want the slightly
the one
earlier
before?
model. It's the
It's
one
the
before.
07,
it's the one
right?
before that is the contemporary to the Phaeton.
I thought we found you your
No,
A8.
it's okay. It's okay. But it is funny that also works its way into this debate for David. Is suddenly, oh, by the way, I do have this 2012 A8L. Would you like that while we're at it? Why not? Let's just
That's
have
out
fun with
there.
all of it. Good.
I had to work my way there, so I'm not going to show photos of these to you.
Okay.
But just here's my thinking, my through line. I started with a Volkswagen Rabbit pickup diesel
Oh my gosh.
because it was just weird.
It is weird. I like it. It's good.
And, well, you've already had the Volkswagen thing built from 1979 to 1984. Those weird little pickups started out with 48 horsepower, and then they got a 1.6 liter and bumped to like 58 horsepower.
I like it. It's good.
Oh, how about a Subaru Brat? with the cool jump seats. And you've got a Brat.
Oh my gosh.
Also pretty low on the horsepower.
Duplicates the Samurai a lot though.
It does. It does. And then I thought something JDM, like a Suzuki Cappuccino. And then I realized you already have a Suzuki.
True. Yeah,
So,
this is insane.
No,
It's
and
really
they're all
insane.
small.
Yeah,
And you already
I like
have a
it. It's
Miata.
good. It's
So
good stuff.
no. And then I thought, well, how about a Mini Cooper, like the original, like this late 60s one? Like, well, no, your daughter drives a Mini Cooper, and that just, you'd like it for just a little bit, and then I think you'd be done with it. So I'm calling my shot.
Okay.
There's only one car that I think you should buy. I'm going to spend a little bit more of your money, and I know it encroaches. It's not above 100 grand. Think 60 grand
Okay.
for this.
All right.
A brand new Morgan Super 3.
Oh, that's interesting. If we're gonna go nuts, let's go nuts. I get it.
1,400 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got the Ford Dragon 1.5 liter 3-cylinder making 118 brake horsepower, 111 pound-feet of torque, 5-speed manual with a top speed, if you can believe it, of 130 miles an hour.
No.
It's a 3-wheeler with a 3-cylinder engine. It feels pre-digital, but it's still a modern new car. And this thing, you said, low speed, fun driving roads. You're going to start shopping for flat caps and a scarf and a cool
Yeah, you
leather
are.
jacket.
Yeah, you are.
And by the way, Morgan sells all that stuff on their website too.
Of course they do.
This is
Got
the
to know
picture
your market.
that I want to paint
my
for
gosh.
you. You're on Long Island. You're tooling around great back roads. Maybe your other friends want to buy a Morgan too, and you're all hanging out together, just cruising around. A Morgan 3-wheeler, a new one, a Super 3. And this is you, my friend, driving off into the sunset
incredible.
in your Super 3. I got so excited about this. I want one. I imagine.
Really? Okay.
Just as a quirky, different, everybody will suddenly be your friend. Everybody will want to talk to you about this cool thing. It's got a tiny gas tank, but who cares? You're tooling around Long Island. I think this car never leaves. Don't ever take it into New York City. Don't ever take it into no. Danger.
Terrifying. Yes. Agreed. Yes.
Leave it out on the island and look how fun this is. I mean, these are all just lifestyle. Look at what we can go do.
Taking it 20 miles an hour. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody will be your friend. I think this is the choice you need. It's fun, it's quirky, it's lightweight. It does all of the things you need, and it is even modern, but they're about $60-ish thousand, depending on how you spec it. They'll sell you the saddlebags right here. You can have
my
the canvas
gosh.
saddlebags.
Oh my gosh.
I think they even make leather. And
Yeah,
you can
probably.
you can outfit, you can choose a custom number, a custom color.
Crazy.
And it will be yours. And I think it's the quirky, unique thing that is just so far out of the realm of what you were thinking that it will stick around. It will always be appealing, because anything else we choose will be like, you got the Suzuki, you got the Miata, well, you got all the cool, quirky, fun stuff. What do you just want to take? We've got to jump in this thing. I mean, no doors.
You're right. You're
A
totally
car
right.
with
Yeah.
no doors. You just jump in and you go and like put on a hat, goggles. You could shop for goggles.
Never thought you shop for goggles, but we're helping you. That's amazing. I
Super
like it. Good job.
3.
I see it.
All
I
these
do
people
see
are
it.
wearing sunglasses. I need some goggles in there. He's wearing goggles.
He's wearing goggles. That's why he's at the back. They can throw mud on him.
throwing
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
spray
exactly.
up. But look, little road trip.
Road trip, and they drove it out, like right off the road onto the beach. That sounds like David's life too. I like it.
These things come with Avon tires. They're like bicycle tires. You can shop for Avon tires. You're going to get super excited about all the accessories and just
Oh,
imagine the
no.
road trips in your Super 3, my friend.
That is possibly the biggest sell I've ever heard for one of these. I have to give you credit. That's
I
very
want a
impressive.
Super 3 just
All
to
right.
like
I'm
throw the
kind of
scarf and
amazed.
goggles and helmet, and we're gone. And
You'd have a
we're-
watch on each wrist. I know how this would work.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Like we're going, and then people are like, "Oh, there's one. Talk to that guy,
David, I'm going to walk through. Oh my God,
Morgan."
your actual options, and then I'm going to throw in a wild card as well. But I want to, based on your story here, I want to talk through the cars you have available to fill this slot. And I'm starting with the Audi. I just
Awesome,
think this
pristine, and worthless.
I think this is wrong for you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's too big for Manhattan.
Oh, that's the W12.
Yeah, it happens to be. Yeah, I actually looked up the L, and it ends up being the W12 in this photo, which is crazy.
Jeez.
But this is too big for you to want to street park in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So it has that problem.
Unless you want to start being a livery driver.
It's an auto.
Yeah.
And you don't like that. And it just feels too big and too at a distance. unless what you plan to do is lots of big road trips. If you're going to start doing lots of big road trips, or if your wife or your kids are starting to say, I'd just like to have something isolating, then this gets back in the picture. But nothing about your story is those things. So I think this is wrong. Even though it's an interesting option, I think it's wrong for you. That leads me to the Giulia. I have a lot of trouble finding what's wrong with this for you. I think you would really enjoy this, but I'm wondering when you drive it, because you did say that the Cayenne, which remember is manual, feels really big to you. Now, these actually drive small. They have a fantastically fast steering rack. They are very fun to drive. You said it's the rare sedan that intrigues you right now. I will back you up. This is one of the most interesting sedans on sale, full stop. It is
so
brilliant.
Pretty. Still so pretty.
You could get a used Quadrifoglio for your money, which I actually think makes this far more interesting, even though I'm not sure where you're going to drive it, because the back roads out in Long Island, it's going to be too fast. And in Manhattan, you're going to be like, why is this so stiff? So I wonder about this. But the exhaust would rival your Fiat 500.
Makes up for everything.
Yeah. I feel like if we got the manual version of this would be your car. Mm-hmm. But I really wonder, because you're so much against having anything but a manual, I feel like this car you're going to love. The few times you have it on the Long Island back road, you're going to love it. And anytime you drive it otherwise, you're going to be like, I'm not engaged with this enough. Why doesn't it have a manual? That's my concern here. The i3. Look, I like these things. I kind of have an inexplicable like for them. You're not a fan. My wife hates them. I think this is a really quirky, interesting city car. I don't know that you need that because you have the 500 Abarth, and you enjoy the 500 Abarth because it has a crazy exhaust and it has a manual. That's why you like that car. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to like this for a month. I think you're going to be, because you've also never had an EV. I think you're going to have it. You're going to be like, oh, look at all the new little interesting things it does. And as soon as you understand them all and you've kind of embraced all of those things, you're going to be like, and I'm bored.
Hey, bamboo.
Because of the way you engage with a car, I think this, as soon as the novelty wears off, you're going to be looking to sell it. I don't think it has long-term interest. I'm interested because they're cheap and because there is a place in my life for having just the I'm going 3 miles runabout car. Mm-hmm. Perfect. That would be awesome for me for that. You don't really have that need because you have other cars that do that, and they do it with more fun for you, so I think this is out. The Jaguar is way up there. But you have to find the manual. And those are hard to find. If you can find this in a manual, I think this is your car, because this will be the car that will make you want to find a fun road and an overnight trip. Because it's going to be soft enough that you could take your wife and you could go somewhere. Maybe it's the summer home, but maybe it's just I've never driven there. This is nice enough that you guys can do that. But if you get the manual transmission, then you still have the manual, so it ends up being modern enough, but still sports enough and still special enough. This is rising to the top for me.
Okay.
But I say that if you find the manual.
Only with the manual, yeah.
The Supra is in the same category. You have to get the manual. I think this might be the modern sports car you never knew you needed, but it has to be the manual. This is one of the best manuals being sold right now.
Agreed.
You can get a brand new one for your budget. It is worth it. That B58 engine is a bomb. It's a fantastic engine. The seats are great for you to drive in all day. You need to get in one of these because it does have a little bit of a bunker feel, and some people don't like it. I actually think this car is fantastic. Every time I've been in one, driven it, I love these things. If you get the manual, you're going to bore yourself if you don't. The crazy thing about David's story is none of these cars are leaving. That's the part where I scratch my head. He gives this list of cars, and none of them are on the chopping block. And so I'm realizing
only
it's an additive.
Yes.
And I'm realizing everything here I feel like has a very serious overlap with something you already have. I've made a case for some of them, but I'm going to give you one more. And you're not going to be surprised by it, but I think kind of like your Morgan idea. I think while it overlaps, I think it elevates. And that is buy yourself an Elise.
I got to hand it to you. This is way up there for me.
Here's why. Yeah. Because this is the more modern, more powerful, more of everything version of everything you love about your Miata. This is the supercar version of your Miata. It's not a supercar. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying compared to the NA Miata, this is an elevation of everything you like about that car while getting into more of a special exotic feel. But the nicest, a nice one out there right now is $40,000. The nicest one out there right now is $80,000. So where would you like to buy? anything over 80, by the way, they've just marked it up. Anyway, they just have. I'm sorry.
True. That's true.
But the reality is, which model year would you like? Which color would you like? Which setup would you like? They're all manual. They're all analog. Everything you like in a car is here, but more modern than most of the old stuff in your fleet. And it elevates everything you like. I think for your Long Island home, it is your Elise. But I also challenge you, find a Hooked on Driving track day.
Oh, that's great.
And take this to the track day. Drive it to the track day, put it on track, drive it home. You will love this thing in all those scenarios. Try to keep it out of Manhattan. You're not going to like it there.
He's in Brooklyn. Come to a Northeast track event.
Totally
They've
agree.
got some great events
Totally
this year.
agree. I think the answer, truly, because as much as I like my Elise, you've heard me do it a million times on this show, it's not right for most people.
No, it's not.
I think it's right for you, David.
Hear it, that could work.
I think it could really work.
David, thank you for writing. Thank you for adding.
Adding. Nothing's going away. Everything. Seriously, I kept reading this list going, which of these are on the chopping block? Half of his list is like the stuff that normally people write to us and go, so these 3 cars are obviously going.
Exactly.
All of it's staying.
We're all going to
brilliant.
live vicariously through you, David,
Yes, we are.
because you're only adding, and that's pretty much what all of us only want to do is just add to our fleet. You're having more garage space, and
Fantastic.
the car list should grow. So absolutely. So please let us know what you do end up getting. Thank you for writing. Thank you for being with us for this crazy series. And we apologize again for the audio issues. Is what it is, but we're always looking forward to next time. Thank you for joining. Share the podcast, as you said at the very beginning.
And we've got more of the alphabet to do. And we didn't even get to car conclusions. This was still a marathon.
Next time, the letter M.
The letter M, brought to you by the letter M. Remember those shows? Anyway, here we are.
Till next time. Cheers, everyone.